this year. Bakari assured residents that the police and other security agencies had put measures in place to ensure peaceful celebration. He urged worshippers attending Eid prayer at designated grounds to follow security guidelines and avoid bringing items that could raise suspicion.
The command, in liaison with other security agencies, having obtained and assessed the security situation in the state, especially the rising tension and uncertainties around Doba activities, Hawan Salah, particularly the tendency to plunge the state into anarchy, made necessary consultations with the state government, the parties, and other critical stakeholders as part of collective commitment to sustain the peace and security.
The Kaduna State chapter of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, has disowned former Governor Nasir El-Rufai, stating that he is not a recognized member of the party in Kaduna State. El-Rufai and some members of the All Progressive Congress, APC, had earlier dumped the ruling party for the SDP. The former governor cited a growing misalignment between his personal values and the current direction of the APC as the primary reason for his decision. However, at a press conference held in Kaduna on Friday, the party's Assistant National Secretary, Northwest Zone, Idris Inwa, emphasized that El-Rufai's entry into the party remained a rumor, as he has yet to follow due process. Inwa, however, advised El-Rufai and his cohorts to follow proper procedures if they wish to officially become members of the party. Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Senator Nasir El-Rufai, has expressed confidence that Kano State remains a stronghold for the All Progressives Congress, APC, ahead of the 2027 general elections. He attributed this to the strategic influence of Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje, and Special Advisor, the President of Senate Matters, Senator Bashir Lado. Speaking during a visit to the Special Advisor to President Bola Tinubu National Assembly, Senator Lado, in his office at the National Assembly, Senator Fabio commended him for ensuring seamless and confidential communication between the executive and the Senate, describing his performance as unprecedented. According to him, since Senator Lado assumed office, there has not been a single leakage of private communication between the presidency and the Senate. He underscored the significance of maintaining confidentiality in governance, warning that leaks could negatively impact national security and decision-making. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been urged to undergo institutional reforms before Nigeria can achieve real growth. A political analyst, Kanch Nwanuju, made the statement while discussing the flurry of bills being debated at the House of Representatives and their impact on Nigerians during Western Spring Television's Morning Spring program on Friday. Onunuju emphasized that to build a better nation, INEC must adhere to its own established laws and be properly checkmated by the judiciary. Speaking on the bill proposing to terminate electoral grievance judgments at the appeal court, Onunuju criticized the judiciary for being a tool of politicians. He further explained that if the bill ensuring local government autonomy is passed into law, it could lead to more free and fair elections at the grassroots level. Onunuju also noted that local autonomy would extend the reach of security apparatus into the homes of ordinary citizens through local and state policing. His remarks come amid debates at the House of Representatives over a series of controversial bills, sparking interest among Nigerians who remain skeptical of the lawmakers' motives.
Making INEC stick to its rules, making INEC to embrace its internal laws. If we make laws talking about electronic transfer of votes, let it be electronically transferred. And if INEC goes against its own rules, the judiciary should be strong enough to hold them to that content. So when the judiciary is weak, that's when politicians will tell you go to court, because they know if they go there, they'll be able to forum shop. And when they forum shop, they'll get outcomes that they desire because they have gotten the judges compromised. The way to strengthen it, strengthen the judiciary. It does not matter where cases terminate. What's most important is the strengthening of the institutions that we do use to do these adjudications. It doesn't matter where the cases terminate. What we need is state institutions that are strong. Right now, there is widespread complaint about the judiciary. So whether you put it at the Supreme Court, or you put it at the Court of Appeal, or the basic starting courts, if the judiciary is challenged, as we currently complain it is, it doesn't really matter. What we need is a holistic re-engineering of our institutions of state. And that's what I believe we need to do. It's just like the problem in the River State, or the local governments to be autonomous, away from the control of the governors. And you can see the move by Mr. Fagbemi to the Supreme Court to secure that nuclear ruling, which allowed the autonomy of local governments to become real. But are they autonomous today? No, they are not. So if you're giving them financial autonomy, you also have to bring autonomy to the way they are elected, strengthening the institutions of state to be able to cater to the aspirations of the people. So if we strengthen the judiciary in a way that it caters to our aspiration, we really shouldn't be talking about a case stopping at the Court of Appeal or going up to the Supreme Court.
In the meantime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has declared a businesswoman and socialite Aisha Achimogu wanted. The agency's spokesman, Deleuye Wale, made this known in a particular release via the EFCC's X handle on Friday. According to the EFCC, Achimogu is wanted by the agency in an alleged case of criminal conspiracy and money laundering. The agency had in a letter summoned the socialite to appear at its Port Harcourt office on March 5 over alleged money laundering and a high-profile investment scam. However, rather than reporting to the EFCC office as requested by the agency, Achimogu was said to have traveled out of Nigeria on Thursday, March 6. Following her alleged departure from the country, the agency obtained an arrest warrant and declared her wanted. Now to security. Osun State's Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed a reduction of an earlier round-the-clock curfew to 17 hours in Ifo, Ilobu and Osun following recent communal clashes. In a statement issued by his spokesperson, Olawale Rashid, Governor Adeleke said the curfew in the three communities now starts at 2 p.m. and ends at 7 a.m. the following day. The relaxation of the curfew is set to begin today and will continue indefinitely until a new directive is issued. The conflict, which stems from a long-standing land dispute, escalated last week, leading to the burning of houses in Ifo, Ilobu, and Osun in Orolu and Irekodo local government areas. The spokesperson said his principal took the decision to alleviate the suffering of residents of the three towns and provide an opportunity for them to attend to their immediate needs. While acknowledging the halt in violence, the governor condemned reports of another death, stating that the police have already taken the suspect into custody. Meanwhile, a coalition of civil society organizations, the Osun Mastermind, says efforts to permanently resolve the Ifo, Ilobu, and Osun communal clashes must be decisive. Speaking during its March 25 State of the State address in Osogbo today, the executive director, Professor Wasiu Oyedokun Ali, advised that such efforts must be forward-thinking, regardless of whose interests are affected. He also called on federal legislators representing the affected communities to take responsibility by involving the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to provide relief for displaced persons, condemning the continued inactivity in local government. The Osun masterminds call on Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke and local government employees to take steps that serve the state's best interests and uphold the rule of law. In their separate remarks, leader of the group, Comrade Ayo Ologun and Comrade Wale Oladapo, decried the delay in recruiting teachers and health workers, saying it threatens the development of education and healthcare in the state. They warned that continued neglect of manpower needs would hinder the state's progress. The Osun masterminds urged the state government to expedite recruitment processes to address manpower shortages in schools and health centers.
We have said before that efforts to permanently resolve the crisis must be decisive and futuristic, not minding whose ox is God. The decisions on the warring communities must set aside all political experiences and provide lasting solutions that will address all the underlying political and ancestral causes. To date, however, it is our considered opinion that the Osun State government has not done enough in its approach to resolving the crisis. Government with the primary responsibility of securing lives and property cannot be slow in taking decisive action in resolving a crisis of this nature. We have also observed that the state government's emergency response has been very slow, though recent actions of setting up IDP camps is commendable. It is equally important that the two federal legislators wake up to their responsibilities by bringing the presence of NEMA to the plight of the people of the warring communities whose property were burnt, among other measures.
The second thing is that the state government do due diligence on members of the committee that they appointed, so that when such allegations come, all you would have said was, come and prove it. Because the community was so smart. They did not say the person we don't want to are the people that collected money. They were smart. They said they had that some members have collected money. Then we do not want this one. There are two different issues they raised. That means that you have even put the people you put in the committee, you have put them under the tire for people to run over them. So a government that was set up a committee must be very firm, must have done their duty to be sure that you even have resources to protect the people you have appointed, because you will have been able to say, we appointed them on character.
So which means before you build the classrooms, build the people. So we are challenging them. As you are building the classrooms, building the buildings, building the structures, if at all they are being built, priority should and must be placed on manpower. And that starts with recruitment of qualified individuals into the classrooms and into our hospitals.
In Edo State, Governor Monday Okpebholo has condemned the mob attack and killing of some travelers accused of kidnapping in the state. According to reports, some hunters who were traveling for Salah were said to have been killed. The mob had intercepted the victims at Uromi, a northeast local government area of Edo State, after ransacking the vehicle where then guns used by hunters were found. The mob had concluded that they were kidnappers, burning them alive. In a viral video, the victims were seen rounded up by some youths who eventually set them ablaze. The incident has triggered outrage, with many Nigerians accusing the federal and state governments of being unable to stem jungle justice. However, the governor, who described the act as barbaric and condemnable, vowed that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Gunmen have reportedly launched a deadly attack on mourners in Ruwi community, Bokos local government area, Plateau State, and killed 10 persons. The mourners were said to have gathered at a deceased family's house in the community when the gunmen attacked them on Thursday night. According to reports, the victims were mostly women, with 7 being brutally clubbed to death with machetes. Chairman of the community peace observers in Bokos local government, Kafas Malai confirmed the killing in Jos on Friday, stating that the perpetrators took advantage of the mourners' gathering to carry out the heinous act. Malai noted that security personnel were alerted to the attack, but unfortunately they arrived after the perpetrators had fled the scene. The attack came barely 1 week after the police command had convened an enlarged stakeholders meeting where the participants, including farmers and herders, pledged to keep the peace in the state. The administrator of Rivers State, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Etta Ibas, has charged parliamentary agencies to increase patrols in order to avert crime and criminality in the state. Also, Ibas upped on collaboration among the various security agencies in the state to keep the state safer and more peaceful, saying there cannot be any meaningful development without a thriving, peaceful environment. Ibas gave the charge when he met with heads of parliamentary organizations at Government House in Port Harcourt on Friday. The administrator said it was a necessity to meet with them as critical stakeholders in the fight against crime and criminality and acknowledged their contributions to ensuring a peaceful Rivers State. He also urged them to participate effectively in joint operations that are geared toward degrading the compatibilities of criminal elements within the state and contribute their quota to combating activities of criminals in the state. In other news, the China Member of Commerce has rejected allegations that a security officer attached to a Chinese firm shot a Nigerian Immigration Service officer. An infuriated Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjiojo, said the incident happened in Niger State last month and described the shooting as an attack on Nigeria. Tunjiojo, who spoke on Thursday, vowed tough action against the Chinese firm allegedly responsible. However, in a statement on Friday, Director General of the Chinese Commerce Chamber in Nigeria, Xu Yuanyang, denied the involvement of any Chinese citizen or firm in the incident. Instead, Guangzhou blamed it on the Nigerian police. It added that during a police action, the state police force was trying to effect an arrest of a local citizen who was suspected of stealing iron rods from a Chinese company. The statement noted that when encountering stiff resistance of the suspect, one of the police officers fired a shot and the bullet accidentally hit a passerby who was later identified to be an immigration officer. In another news, the Enugu government has ordered the immediate removal of all incident and obscene artworks and pictures displayed on major roads in the state. The order is contained in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Ngozi Ene, on Friday in Enugu, to describe such artworks as detrimental to public morals and contravention of the Child's Right Law of Enugu State, and has said offenders would be made to face the law henceforth. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has Nigeria paid over $1.5 billion in war risk insurance premiums to international insurers of the past 3 years. In a statement on Friday, NIMASA's head of public relations, Osagie Edwards, said the impact of war risk insurance premiums on the economy is staggering. War risk insurance covers losses and damages resulting from acts of war, including invasions, insurrection, rebellion, and hijacking, and is commonly used in the shipping and aviation industries to protect against hostile acts and specific risks in high-risk environments. NIMASA said the war risk insurance is an additional surcharge imposed by international shipping companies of Nigeria bound cargoes. The agency said the financial burden initially introduced during the height of the Niger Delta militancy and piracy has overstayed its purpose. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, Rivers State government approves payment of match salaries for all civil servants, public servants, pensioners, and suspended political appointees. We will bring you more of this when we return.
Badamasi Adegoke Adelabu was a prominent figure in Ibadan politics and Western region before Nigeria's independence. He was a key founder of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, a political party that held lofty the torch of liberty for the two West African countries. He carved a niche for himself as a wordsmith and a creative speaker. The nickname Kwenkelemens was a natively corrupted version of peculiar mess, his bombastic English language style often used to score proceedings at the parliament. The author of Africa in Ebullition, a handbook of freedom for Nigerian nationalists, was Nigeria's Federal Minister of Natural Resources and Social Services between 1955 and 1956. He died in an auto crash on the 25th March 1958 at the age of 42. Western Spring Television identifies Adegoke Adelabu as a watershed character in history.
I am Josh Tufoni. I'm a comedian.